بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We studied arguments for and against the condition of a'lamiyya for marja. The author of Usul al-Istinbat has the idea that a'lamiyya is not needed. He mentioned his arguments, then he brought counter arguments, but his overall conclusion was that a'lamiyya is not needed. It's good, but it's not needed. We said the issue of marja'iyya seems to be not just an academic or a scholarly issue. It's not just you want someone's opinion. You want a leader. Okay? And I said there are many hadiths that suggest that the leader should be most capable, most knowledgeable. So, we mentioned one hadith from Amirul Mu'minin from Nahj al-Balagha, Sermon 173. أيها الناس إن أحق الناس بهذا الأمر أقواهم عليه وأعلمهم بأمر الله فيه. The most qualified person, the one who has more right, deserves this position more than others, is the one who is أقواهم, stronger, is the most capable, and also most knowledgeable about amrillah fi, what Allah asks us to do. So he has more knowledge about divine religion. Also, there is another hadith from Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam. أفينبغي أن يكون الخليفة على الأمة إلا أعلمهم بكتاب الله وسنة نبيه. Is it acceptable that the Khalifa al-Ummah, the one who is successor of the Prophet and rules and leads the Ummah after the Prophet, would be anyone other than the one who is most knowledgeable about Quran and Sunnah? There is a hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. And in this hadith, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, "Unzuru لأنفسكم." Look at this by yourself. Means, think about this. فَبَاللَّهِ إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ لَيَكُونُ لَهُ الْغَنَمْ فِيهَا الرَّاعِي. Suppose a person who has some sheep and goats, and he has a shepherd who looks after his animals. فَإِذَا وَجَدَ رَجُلًا وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِغَنَمِهِ مِنَ الَّذِي هُوَ فِيهَا. If he finds a person who is better shepherd and has more experience, more knowledge, can look after his animals better, what would he do? He would ask the other person to look after his animals. Yes? Unless there is another reason that's different. But normally a rational person, when he has choice of two people looking after his camel or goat or sheep or animals, one is better, one is more knowledgeable, more experienced, and the other one less. So he would give the job to the one who is more knowledgeable. There is a hadith from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Man amma with Hamza. Imam comes from the same root, Amma ya ummu. Man amma qawman wa fihim a'lamu min أو أفقه منه لم يزل أمرهم في سفال إلى يوم القيامة. The one who leads a group and there is someone in that group who is more knowledgeable, their affairs would always go to the lower and lower till the day of judgment. So if there is a nation, if there is a community that they are led by someone who is not the most knowledgeable, their affairs go to the worst. Imam Hassan alayhi salam said to Muawiyah, قال رسول الله. So it is Imam Hassan quoting Prophet in an address to Muawiyah. قال رسول الله ما ولت أمة أمرها رجلا قط وفيهم من هو أعلم منه إلا لم يزال أمرهم يذهب سفالا حتى يرجعوا إلى ما تركوا. No nation has ever given their affairs to someone while there is a more knowledgeable person in that nation, unless their affairs have gone to the worst till they return, they revise their decision. Okay? They revise their decision. We have another hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. من دعا الناس إلى نفسه وفيهم من هو أعلم منه فهو مبتدع ضال. Whoever calls people towards himself, and among people there is someone who is more knowledgeable than him. So someone calls people towards himself while there is someone among people who is more knowledgeable than him. فهو مبتدع. He is a heretic. ضال. He is misguided. Rasulullah said, إن الرئاسة لا تصلح إلا لأهلها. Leadership would not suit except those who are qualified for it. فمن دعا الناس إلى نفسه وفيهم من هو أعلم منه. The one who calls people towards himself and there is among them someone who is more knowledgeable, لم ينظر الله إليه يوم القيامة. Allah would not look at him on the day of judgment.
Who was this hadith from?
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have several hadiths, and as I said, even if you, for example, are not 100% sure about the chain of narration for some, altogether this is a very established idea in our hadith that for leadership we should go for the most qualified, and knowledge is a very important part of it. The one who is most knowledgeable, most qualified for leadership. So although these don't directly talk about marja'iyah as a matter of just giving a scholarly opinion, but because marja'iyah has a great role in leadership, then I think it's very rational and reasonable to say that marja has to be also most knowledgeable. At least to be on the safe side. If you follow the most knowledgeable, definitely you are okay. If you don't follow the most knowledgeable, then you have to take risk. Why we should take risk? Because on the day of judgment, we want to be sure that we have hujjah. Yeah, if you follow a'lam, you have hujjah. If you don't have follow a'lam, you don't have hujjah. So, inshallah, the issue is clear. Now we go to another issue, and that is about the necessity of marja being alive. So another condition for marja after a'lamiyya is hayat, life. اشتراط الحياة في مرجع التقليد. Marja should be alive. To prepare your mind before I go to the text, remember, the whole issue is this. Marja is not just a narrator of hadith. Because some people have said, we don't need to go to marja, who is alive. We can go to even a marja who is, dead, who passed away. Like today we refer to the hadith of Zurara, to the hadith of, for example, Muhammad ibn Muslim. Still, their hadith is valid. Why we cannot go to maraja? We say fatwa is different from hadith. Hadith is just narration. When someone passes on a hadith, even if he has passed away, no problem. But fatwa is based on the person. He's not just saying that I heard this. The authority of fatwa comes from this person being alive. The validity, the strength of fatwa. Yeah? So, if you refer to someone who has passed away, you are not sure that you have fulfilled your requirement. At least you have to do ihtiyat. The issues are changing. We have new issues, and also scholarship is always improving and developing. If we refer to, for example, a marja who was alive 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, so maybe there are many things today that they have not addressed. Even, in the same issues, maybe now there are more scholarly discussions, much deeper discussions. You see how, for example, in every science, the books become more developed. If you look at the books on tafsir, if you look at the books, for example, on history. So, in fiqh also, Ijtihad is developing. So, we cannot just follow someone who has passed away. Of course, you may say, what about a person that has just died? Say, okay, this is the gray area. If someone has died many, many years ago, so we don't accept. But if someone has just died and he is more knowledgeable than living ones, if you have been following him, if you have been doing his taqlid, almost all say you can't follow. Especially if he was more knowledgeable, some say you must follow him. Yeah? So some say you can remain with dead marja. Some say not only you can remain, if he is more knowledgeable, you must remain with the dead marja. Okay? But to begin with taqlid of dead marja, it's problematic. Most of the ulama don't allow. Some may allow. But we have a common point here. We say in the issues of taqlid, either you should do ihtiyat and always go for the most difficult option. I mean, you have to safeguard yourself. Yeah, for the issues of taqlid. For example, does it need to be a'lam or it doesn't need to be a'lam? This is an issue that you cannot take risk. Either you have to go to a'lam or you have to ask a'lam, and if he gives you permission, then you go to non-a'lam. With respect to the life, Either you should go to the people who have life, or even if you want to stay with someone who has died, you have to take permission from those who are alive. So always you have to safeguard yourself, because in the issue of taqlid, you cannot take risk. And you cannot follow someone that is not 100% known to be qualified. If there is consensus, no problem. If there is no consensus, find out who is alam and then ask him. If he tells you you can remain with that, no problem. You can follow that, no problem. But don't take risk. Yes.
What about if a person is muqallid and then the marja taqlid dies?
Yes.
And he was the most knowledgeable and he's permitted to stay with him, but then the new problem occurs and he can't.
So for old issues or existing issues, we refer to that person. For new issues, you go to your...
And he can be muqallid of those two.
Yes.
Oh.
اشتراط الحياة في مرجع التقليد. The condition of life for marja al-taqlid means marja has to be alive or not. We want to discuss this. الظاهر عدم جواز تقليد الميت ابتداءً. It seems that it's not permissible to follow the dead mujtahid ibtida'an, to begin with. Means you have not been following him when he was alive, and now after he has passed away, you want to follow him. Ibtida'an means this, yeah? He says it's not permissible. Why? للإجماعات المنقولة المستفيضة عن الأساطين المتتبعين. He says there are many great scholars, asatin. They are like pillars of fiqh. Ustuwana, asatin means the pillars of fiqh, who have been also mutatabbi', who have done lots of research. They have claimed there is ijma'. So although we don't accept ijma' al-manqul, but he wants to say when pillars of fiqh have claimed ijma', it's not just one person and not ordinary person. Great fuqaha have said there is ijma' that you cannot begin with dead marja. The people who have disagreed are some akhbariyun. وخالف في ذلك كثير من الأخباريين. And you know the reason? Because for akhbariyun, fiqh is not as sophisticated as for usuliyun. For akhbariyun, fiqh is more a matter of finding a hadith and just making sure that you understand hadith properly and this type of things. Yeah? So it's for them it's more a matter of like riwayah than ijtihad. For some akhbariyun. وخالف في ذلك كثير من الأخباريين. But he says الظاهر أن الإجماع سابق عليهم. Before Akhbari movement started, we had this ijma already among our scholars that you should follow the living mujtahid. Recent disagreement would not damage ijma, because we need ijma of generations who were closer to the time of Ma'soom. Yeah? Another reason. So, first, lil ijma. Second, لأن الميت لا رأي له. A dead person has no opinion. You ask for opinion. The one who has died has no opinion. Third, لعدم الدليل المعتبر على جوازه. We don't have valid proof for permissibility of following a dead marja. Why? Because you need to have dalil, yeah? Because the first, if we didn't have dalil for permissibility of taqlid, what should we do? If we didn't have dalil that you can do taqlid, what's the first principle? What does asl require? Asl require that you must be either yourself marja, or mujtahid, or ihtiyat. To be able to say that you can do taqlid needs effort. You have to prove it. Otherwise, you have to do ijtihad or you have to do ihtiyat. Okay? So, those who say that taqlid of mayyit is possible, the burden of argument is on them. Okay? You have to prove that it's possible to do taqlid of mayyit. لعدم الدليل المعتبر على جوازه. We don't have valid argument for permissibility of taqlid al-mayyit. Why? Because those hadiths that indicate taqlid, they don't indicate permissibility of following a dead person. لأن أخبار أصل التقليد, the hadith that indicate that you can do taqlid, okay, أصل التقليد means the the very taqlid or the principle of taqlid, means we are not talking about the details. Those hadiths that said you can do taqlid, they don't have any dalala, any reference to a dead marja being acceptable. Actually, not only they don't refer to dead, they are munsarifatun ila ahya al-fuqaha. They are bringing to mind living people. They don't even include it with itlaq. When you hear them, أما من كان من الفقهاء, for example, or أما الحوادث الواقع فرجوا فيها لرواة أحاديث. Now, what do you understand? The very first thing that comes to your mind, someone who is living and giving you fatwa. Say, refer to them. When you say refer to them, what does it mean? Means he should be alive. أما البقاء على تقليد الميت. Maybe you say, okay, so we understood that we cannot do taqlid of mayyit. But what about remaining with the dead marja? He says, daliluhu ghayru zahir. He says, it's not clear for me what's the reason for allowing this.
That's the opinion of the author.
Yes. بل بعض الإجماعات المنقولة على عدم الجواز ظاهرها يعم الابتداع والاستدامة. He says not only there is no clear proof for it, but also those ijma'at, we said, some of the asatin, some of the pillars of fiqh, they said there is consensus that you cannot follow mayyit. He says some of those claims of ijma' don't distinguish between ibtida'an or baqa'an. Whether the dead is the one that you used to follow or you didn't used to follow. They don't make distinction. Yes, some people have tried to use istishab. They say, when you used to follow this person when he was alive, so for you it was wajib to make wuzu like this. Now you don't know what to do. They say we do istishab. Still it is wajib for you to. And this is why some people say you can only do taqlid of mayyit with respect to the issues that you have been following him. The reason why some people say not the issues that you didn't follow him. Those issues that you have been following him, you do istishab. نعم استدل عليه باستصحاب الأحكام السابقة. So some people said you can follow your dead marja that you used to follow him when he was alive because we do istishab of the ahkam. But he says, I don't believe in the validity of istishab in shubahat al-hukmiyya. This is his opinion. أننا منعنا من جريانه من جريان الاستصحاب في الأحكام التكليفية مطلقة والوضعية الكلية. He says we don't apply or implement istishab in أحكام التكليفية, in حكم وجوب حرمة أحكام التكليفية. Remember 5: وجوب حرمة استحباب كراهة إباحة. He says when it's shubhi hukmiyya we don't do istishab, and also in shubhi in ahkam waz'iyya when it is kulli, only in masadiq he does it. أما من أجراه فيها فله عنه أجوبة أخرى. But those who implement istishab, so they have other way of looking at it, and maybe he doesn't agree with them. But على كل فإنه ليس في أدلة مجوزيه دلالة واضحة على الجواز ظاهرا. He says, overall, all in all, there seems to be no clear argument for permissibility of following the dead marja that you used to follow. So here he's very strict. Yeah? In Alamiyah he was very open. But here he's very strict. He says you have to follow the one who is alive. Okay? But I think it's reasonable to say that you can follow the marja that you used to follow. Why? Because in a matter of few years, there is no big change. Yeah? If you want to follow, for example, a person who lived 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it's a problem. But if you have been following someone, and now he has just passed away, the maximum is that one generation. You follow him. The new people cannot follow him. You would follow him, but again, this would finish. So it means that the community is not following very, kind of old generations of scholars. And the maximum is one generation. Like the people that, for example, I have been following, but my children, then they have to follow someone that is alive when they want to do taqlid. So they don't follow the marja that I used to follow and passed away. So it means that we are coming along with time, but at the same time there is no need to quickly shift from the old marja that I have been following just because. So although fatwa is not an issue of hadith, but this person has opinion and I have been following him, and there seems to be no reason that people say you cannot follow him. For example, let me give an example. If you have, this example is very good, inshallah. Suppose you have taken prescription from a doctor for 6 months. Within 6 months, he passed away. What do? You carry on. You don't say, no, now because I heard he has passed away. So you have taken risala of your marja and started practicing. Now he has passed away. You carry on. You want to make a building, you have gone to an architect, he has given you the design. You made few floors, for example, 10 floor. You made 1, 2, 3 floor, he passed away. You say the design is now damaged, I need another architect. No, you carry on. So, there seems to be no reason to quickly shift as soon as the marja dies, but to begin with, even I think to begin with, if that marja has recently passed away and he is more knowledgeable, maybe actually there is no problem. You know? Suppose a great marja who is more knowledgeable than all living ones has just passed away and someone has become baligh. It seems even here there is no problem. But as I said, we have to do ihtiyat. But here it seems sometimes ihtiyat is not very clear, because if that person was more knowledgeable. So what we do is we find who is most knowledgeable among ulama and we ask him. If he gives us permission, we carry on. If he doesn't give us permission, we stop. But then for wujuhat, you give to whom? You give to the living one who gave you permission. Because that marja has passed away and also his office is not authorized to get anymore. Yeah? Because the office of marja has to run under the supervision of marja. So when the marja passes away, the office has to either close down or operate under the supervision of a new marja. Okay? So you can never give your money except to the living marja for homes or other things. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ahsantum.